Hello, this is Peter with Arcade Parts and Repair, and I've been asked to show you on these Williams power supplies how to modify the pot to fit in here on these boards. And first off, this particular board, these are both Williams power supplies, and one is the D8359, which is this board right here. And this board over here, which has the separate heat sink on it, would be the D8784 power supply. Both these boards are very similar. There isn't much difference between the two of them. And the pots on there are actually going to be on the D8753. There's actually, the location right up here is R2. This first resistor on the board, which we do have a cap or a map that we created for this to show these locations, since this board, the 8359, does not have any locations printed on it, but that's where the pot mod location for the +5 modification will go. On this board, on the D84 or 8784 board, this is labeled and it's R25, which is right down here, this second one away from the regulator here, the IC chip, and that's where the other one. Now the problem you run into is that these two particular locations run about 12 to 13 millimeters distance there, so you have to modify a pot. And these are the pots here that we're using. I've already modified one here, and then we'll go through the steps of how to do it with the others, because we had to get these special pots I found, which are, they got longer legs on them so we can widen their spot. And basically, this can be mounted either direction, you know, so it's going to actually go right into the board with it facing either down that way, or you can turn it around. Either way, it doesn't matter. Whichever way is more convenient for you to adjust it. And same thing over here. This pot we find is fits the same way over here either direction, and it doesn't interfere with any of the other components when it's seated in there. So now to go about to widen those, we'll just have a couple tools here that we'll need. And basically the best thing that I've found is that when you have this pot, if you just take the outside legs and physically bend them out away from you like that, it widens their stance, and you may have to widen them just a little bit more there. And that way you get pretty darn close to the proper width there that you need when you've widened them out. So you're just swinging them straight out 90 degrees off to the side. Now the center wiper here, which is the center leg here, get my fat fingers out of the way so you can see, but the center wiper is basically right here. That needs to be soldered to either the right side or the left side. It doesn't matter. And what I find the best way to do this is take this lead and you can bend it straight out like that, and then bend it over to the side, and I put just a little curl in it. And sometimes you got to bend this leg in a little bit to get the curl over it. That way you can make sure it's actually straight like that. And that way you can solder that right there, but you don't want to add too much heat to that joint. And that can actually run over to this side or that side, doesn't really matter. And then basically that keeps it condensed, so it doesn't have much surface area here, so it allows you to turn it in either direction to install it, whichever works. And plus then you get the width that you need. So your end result then looks like this, and they'll just fit right in the actual board and fit that original lead spacing that was 12.5 millimeters, and you have enough surface area there that you can see that you've got plenty of legs sticking out there that on that for either direction to solder to. So that's basically what you do, and then I would adjust that to probably about halfway. Make sure it's in the middle before you power it up, and I would adjust that before you power your PCB on it. So I would have everything disconnected to just get a rough setting on that at that point. But that's all you need to do, and that works out perfect. And these pots are probably the higher wattage pots that I've found, and probably the easiest that I've found so far out of about half a dozen different pots I've tried to work with these particular Williams power supplies. So if you got any questions, you can shoot me an email. Otherwise, good luck here, and have a good day.